Hello. Bring in the music. Bring it in. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to MMAfighting.com's official UFC 291 weigh-ins live stream. This is the voice of Alexander K. Lee. We'll see my face soon enough. The music being brought to you, of course, by producer extraordinaire E. Casey Leiden. And the visuals you'll soon see, the gentlemen and gentlewomen stepping to the scale, being brought to you by the esteemed Jose Youngs on site in Salt Lake City, as he has been all week. What is going on, guys? What's going on, everybody?
So I'm very busy. I have a whole orchestra here.
Oh, yeah. Keep conducting. You've never heard my theory that conductors do nothing, right? You ever heard? I didn't see Tar, so I don't know what conductors do.
Oh, you didn't see Tar?
Right?
Oh,
I didn't see Tar. It's on my list. I know. I'm embarrassed.
Man.
I'm embarrassed. I love Kate Blanchett. I heard it was
Tar
great.
was so good.
I'm embarrassed. But we're not here to talk about Tar, Casey. We're here to talk about UFC 291, which even without a title fight, I see a lot of people saying one of the best.
Excuse me.
Sorry, Father. Without a traditional title fight, is that a fair thing? It's not a. There's no tradition to it yet. It's only the second BMF title fight. All right, here's John Anik.
Poirier versus Gaethje 2, and we will begin with the gentleman around whom this fight card was built. First fighter to the scale, former UFC interim lightweight champion and the number 3 ranked contender, Justin Gaethje.
Here comes Justin Gaethje.
Tattoo is staring at me.
156, the official weight for Justin Gaethje.
156 for Justin Gaethje. That is one half official for Saturday's lightweight main event. We're waiting Dustin Poirier.
Championship weight.
No, it's 156. Oh, you're right. It's BMF championship weight.
Yeah, because BMFs don't care.
No,
they'll come in a pound over. They'll come in a pound under.
I think you have to. I think if you come in on 155, you're disqualified.
Also competing for the BMF title on Saturday night. Also a former UFC interim lightweight champion, the number 2 ranked contender, Dustin Poirier.
Well, as we said, didn't have to wait long for Mr. Poirier.
Do you think he's gonna be all like professional and come in at 155?
Yeah.
I hope not.
Yeah.
Real BMFs don't. So what does BMF stand for? No one told me.
I don't know. It's like KFC. It doesn't actually stand for anything.
Gotcha.
Ooh.
155, the official weight for Dustin Poirier.
155 for Dustin Poirier, coming in at actual championship weight. Justin Gaethje also successfully weighed in, so the BMF championship lightweight main event is now official. No drama there.
Thank goodness. That is not what we're here for.
Yeah, no, that would have been a real bummer.
I watch Ultimate Fighter for my drama.
A little bit lower on the card when Mr. welterweight Matthew Semelsberger. Casey, we're missing a T in the Semelsberger for Matthew. Got a lot of Matthews with only one T these days.
$169.5, the official weight for Matthew Semelsberger.
169.5 for Matthew Semelsberger.
His mustache, that looks very nice.
Everything, his whole hair profile is just looking real good.
Division, Miranda, Maverick. $125.5, the official weight for Miranda Maverick.
125.5 for Miranda Maverick, coming in on short notice, I believe. I have to double check that. I believe she's coming in on short notice for Joanne Wood. And now we have a men's flyweight, CJ Vergara.
125.5, the official weight for CJ Vergara.
CJ Vergara also 125.5. So, you know, if something should happen to their respective opponents, you can just throw Miranda Maverick and CJ Vergara right in there. No problem. Same weight case. That's how it works. Claudio Ribeiro. Okay. Jose, who was that?
That was me.
Okay, very unprofessional. Very unprofessional.
He runs the Claudio Ribeiro fan club.
He does. This is true.
$185.5, the official number for Claudio Ribeiro.
185.5 for Claudio Ribeiro.
Did you watch that scale?
All
That scale
smiles.
That scale is totally moving.
What do you mean? Why would you say that?
Our next man to the scale, charged with kicking off the pay-per-view main card of the welterweight division, Kevin Trailblazer Holland.
Kevin Holland. Looking stoic.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we're
Some
seeing a
scale
little
issues.
playing around with the scale here.
See, that's how I was telling you on the last weigh, and the guy he wasn't really weighed in. He just kind of the thing was bouncing like crazy.
Calling his weight.
169.5, the official weight for Kevin Holland.
169 point. He's actually off. 169.5. He thought he said 170.
He said 169.
He said, was he? Oh, okay.
The king is in the building, Bobby King Green.
Bobby King Green. Not legally. I guess he's not legally King Green yet. I know he said he was going to change his name. I don't see anyone. Just.
Can we guys zoom in on his eyes to see if we can see fear?
$155.5, the official weight for Bobby King Green.
155.5 for Bobby Green.
Our next fighter to the scale, one half of the co-main event, is the former undisputed UFC light heavyweight champion, now the number 3 ranked contender, Jan Blachowicz.
Jan Blachowicz. Let's go.
$205, the official weight for the former champ, Jan Blachowicz.
205 on the dot. The former champ and future champ, perhaps? Just saying. Don't rule him out.
Next athlete to the stage, one half of the featured prelim live on ABC in the UFC's welterweight division, Trevin Giles.
Trevin Giles. Featured prelim spot.
It's kind of interesting that Lewis and Rogerio didn't get the featured prelim spot.
I was very surprised.
I know it's very un-UFC, but
107 pounds, the official weight for Trevin Giles.
170 for Trevin Giles. Well done. Hitting the salute.
respect.
Who are we gonna have next?
Our next
We-
up in the UFC women's flyweight division, we welcome Priscila Cachoeira.
Oh, here we go. So I was just about to say we haven't had any other matchups become official yet, but we should here.
125. for Priscila Cachoeira.
125 on the dot for Priscila Cachoeira, and her fight with Miranda Maverick is now official.
Our next fighter to the scale, competing live on pay-per-view with over Ultimate Fighter Live, winner of the number 12 ranked UFC welterweight contender, Michael Maverick Chiesa.
And we could have another one becoming official in a second. Here comes Michael Chiesa, coming off a pretty long layoff, over 600 days. He's never had a layoff that long before.
$170 for Michael Chiesa.
170 for Michael Chiesa. His fight with Kevin Holland is now official. He's one of those guys, I do not know how he made lightweight before. He is a big dude.
He just looked really gross at 55.
He did. I mean, it's like with Conor. When you look at see footage of Conor, you're like, oh wow, like why did they do this? I mean, you know why, but I mean.
$185 for Roman Kopylov.
185 for Roman Kopylov, and his fight with Claudio Ribeiro is official.
Our next actor to the stage, the other half of that featured Trevin in the welterweight division, Gabriel Bonfim.
Gabriel Bonfim.
$170, the official weight for Gabriel Bonfim.
170 for Gabriel Bonfim, and his fight with Trevin Giles is now official.
Our next fighter to weigh this one also includes the welterweight division, the Celtic Kid, Jake Matthews.
Jake Matthews, once a top 5 ranked welterweight in Jed Shoes MMAfighting.com rankings. It's not quite that level anymore.
Man, no one lets that go.
And I never will. Listen, he never lets go. 170 for Jake Matthews. He's still talking about the time he called Pena beating Nunes, so he's going to talk about that forever.
Our next fighter to the stage is the former undisputed UFC middleweight champion, moving up to light heavyweight in the co-main event here on Saturday night. Pereira.
Oh boy, we have one of our Pereiras showing up. Poatan.
Extra 20 pounds.
Yep. He looks very happy. He's looked
pounds
very happy all week. Very happy. No problem. 205.5 for Alex Pereira. His fight with Jan Blachowicz is now official. Dangerous man.
A welterweight prelim on ABC and making his UFC debut, Darrius Flowers.
Darrius Flowers. This is the man set to fight Jake Matthews.
Darrius Flowers is a great name. Sounds like
it's a great name.
Sounds like he should be like a pro wrestler.
It's a little NXT. It's a little bit NXT.
Yeah, yeah, very NXT.
$170.5. The official weight for Darrius Flowers.
170.5 for Darrius Flowers. His fight with Jake Matthews is now official. Cruising along here. We got a lot of veterans on the card as well, who I wonder if they're going to take their time. Certainly, we have 2 heavyweights.
Hey guys,
heavyweights.
Hey
Jose.
You guys for a second, so I can edit up some Alex Pereira video, so you will not hear me for a few minutes.
All right.
No worries.
Thanks, Jose. You guys heard that. He's gonna Jose's gonna bring you that spicy weigh-in footage from earlier. I'm sure we'll have people. We're 15, not even 15 minutes in yet. We've had a lot of the big names show up, so probably some people tuning in later may have missed Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, Jan Blachowicz, and Alex Pereira. But Jose will have that footage for our socials, and we'll replay those clips later when we have a little breather, which I guess we kind of do now. A lot of veteran names we're waiting for.
We got one coming up right now. Hold on.
We got one coming up right now.
Yeah. Here we go.
Producer Casey, bringing the heat. What do we got here? Our main event, I assume.
Gentleman around whom this fight card was built, first fighter to the scale, former UFC interim lightweight champion and the number 3 ranked contender, Dustin Gaethje.
Yeah, no feedback. So just watching a little replay from, 10 minutes ago?
Guys, I'm back, and Derrick Lewis is weighing in.
Oh, all right. We got Derrick Lewis coming up.
You're out of here, Dustin.
That surprised me. Surprised me that he would come so early.
Six-pack Derrick Lewis.
Wow, he's looking like a young man.
263.5. The official weight for Derrick Lewis.
263.5 for Derrick Lewis. Svelte. Looking 10 years younger.
This is a very important fight for Derrick Lewis.
Hugely. I think we.
Yeah.
The big question we all asked was after the Spivak loss, would he be cut? And I think unanimously we were like, no, he's definitely getting at least one more fight. But this is the one more fight. I don't know.
I don't think it's going to. Well, the release thing is something else, but I think more if Derrick Lewis loses against Rogerio de Lima, I think we can kind of even has like a top 15 a heavyweight. There's a big downfall. Now Derrick Lewis may ever fight for the title again or being top 5. No, that's up for debate. But if he loses against de Lima, it's not even ranking anymore.
It might be. Oh, I mean, he's already out of the MMAfighting.com rankings. Yeah. I assume he's still in the UFC rankings.
But even like, I mean, if he loses tomorrow, do you ever see him? You imagine him being a top 10 fighter again?
I don't think so. I don't think so. He's number 11. He's number 11 in the UFC rankings. He is out of our rankings. We have to keep in mind our rankings include non-UFC heavyweights. So if you're just ranking UFC heavyweights, if we did that, he's probably in the top 15 still. But in the world,
more like, as an elite heavyweight, like Rogerio de Lima, we have him in our top 40.
De Lima, no, I mean De Lima's on a bit of a run, isn't he? I mean, he's doing well lately, right? He's 4 of his last 5. I think he's higher ranked. I think in our rankings. Neither of them are ranked, but I would probably put Pazao higher than Derrick Lewis right now. Probably. I guess the list of his wins isn't like super impressive, but.
Do you see Rogerio de Lima fighting for a belt?
This is heavyweight, so literally anything that I don't. But because again, he's actually the same age as Derrick Lewis. I think he's like only a couple months younger, so it's not like he's this up and coming heavyweight. Pazao's been around for a long time himself. Anything can happen. I certainly don't. Especially since we actually have like heavyweight.
Let's go back to our replay. We're gonna watch our main eventers.
Also, I sent you a DM regarding a typo.
Oh. With the gentleman around whom this fight card was built, first fighter to the scale, former UFC interim lightweight champion and the number 3 ranked contender, Dustin Gaethje. .156, the official weight for Dustin Gaethje. All right, next fighter to the scale, also competing for the BMF title on Saturday night. Also a former UFC interim lightweight champion, the number 2 ranked contender, Dustin Poirier.
I wonder if I should put some music while they're watching the replays.
$155, the official weight for Dustin Poirier.
There we go.
And with that, your UFC 291 main event is official.
There you go, guys. Those are the first two fighters to weigh in, so did not waste any time. Those are your lightweight contenders, BMF title contenders, whatever you want to call them. Two future Hall of Famers for sure. I don't think there's any mistake there. And coming in, leaving no drama. We also had our co-main eventers come in. Jan Blachowicz, of course, former light heavyweight champion, 205. Alex Pereira, hoping to become a two-division champion in the near future, possibly with a win over Blachowicz, 205.5. So, Casey, I want to address one comment on the YouTubes from JRayB02. What's up, JRay? JRay says, I appreciate all pushing the MAF rankings, but you need to talk about fighters in the context of their promotions rankings, not your own. No, we don't. Because...
Why
because no. I mean, the case would be that typically the assumption is that the promotion, when they're considering matchmaking or releasing people, whatever, it's based on their own rankings. But we know that's not true. We know half the time the UFC disregards their own rankings. So this is why the MMA fighting rankings exist. Why most outlets try to make their own rankings, because the UFC rankings don't matter as much as you would want you to believe they do. They usually make for a good promotional tool. It usually makes for a good we can put these two fighters on the main card, put a number next to their name. But as far as how much how much they acknowledge their own rankings, it's not a lot. It's not a lot. Let's just look at all the title fights that have come up, quote unquote number one contenders fights, how they decide those. It's not a meritocracy, guys. It's not a meritocracy. So I'm very happy to just keep referring to our own rankings. And of course, I acknowledge, like we said, with a case like Derrick Lewis, you do want to talk about where his standing is officially. But remember, those UFC.com rankings are also made by media members, supposedly.
Supposedly.
So, I mean, some of those media outlets have not been active for a long time. Yeah. So, frankly, our rankings or whatever websites rank, SureDog, Topology, Fight Matrix, they're just as valid and as important.
No, not Topology rankings. No. Topology is a great site, but the ranking system is.
Is that just a fan? Is that just a fan?
Yeah. It's just popular.
Well, that's the best one then.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Well, that's the best. The fans are never wrong, Casey. The fans are never wrong. But I do appreciate the comment / question, Jay. I understand I understand why this comment was made. So, but yeah, no, we're always gonna mention our rankings first, and then I'm definitely curious of
that's our rankings. Why would we talk about anyone else's rankings?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm not going to do a rain dance. I have a feeling I'm sure someone will come up eventually, but that wasn't a huge rush. Then again, it's also only a 12 fight card, so we're not waiting for that many people. It looks like 6 people. Stephen Thompson, Michel Pereira, neither of them have weighed in yet. Tony Ferguson taking his sweet time. I'm sure. I don't think there's any rush. Probably not having any issues. Marcos Rogerio de Lima, heavyweight. Vinicius Salvador and Uros Medic.
Speaking of which,
Uros Medic.
170.5, the official weight for Uros Medic.
170.5 for Uros Medic. His fight with Matthew Semelsberger is official. I got another comment in here. I want to just, what's up, Sheila? Sheila saying, if having held a title is an important consideration for you in MMA fighting, then there's a real chance Justin and Dustin wouldn't be Hall of Fame worthy. Well, they both held interim titles, so it's not an issue. If you're drawing the line at undisputed, I mean, I guess you could say, but again, titles are props.
There is no such thing as undisputed in the sport.
Exactly, titles are props. As I always say, interim titles are also props, but if we're just talking belts, listen, the UFC promotes them like belts. They promote pay-per-views with interim title fights in big spots.
Also, I mean, I appreciate the question, Sheila, but having a
belt doesn't
mean you're in the Hall of Fame either.
No. But I think Sheila's would also argue against Jim Miller, would also or Donald Cerrone.
I'm saying that having a belt doesn't automatically put you in the Hall of Fame either.
This is true. We have some names that are clearly should be in the Hall of Fame. who previously held UFC titles, and
or
for
people that
political
have
reasons.
belts that people that won belts that will never be in the Hall of Fame. Most.
Are you? Is this Nico Montano shade? Because
No,
if it is, I'm not here for it. I'm not here for it.
You can name a few champs. Oh, you know what? Let's not talk about UFC Hall of Fame because it's not a real thing.
It is how dare you? It is a real thing, and
UFC
someday,
Hall
God
of
willing,
Fame is not a real.
someday,
If you can tell me the criteria to be in the UFC Hall of Fame, then maybe we can get a little closer to talking about
someday, God willing, there will be a physical UFC Hall of Fame that I can take my children.
It's a hallway.
It's in the UFC
literally a
Apex
wall.
though. What is what?
Yes.
The office, the Apex.
It's literally a hall. It's a stairwell.
Someday it will be its own building, and I will take my children there, Casey. And I'll explain to them, here's why Donald Cerrone shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame.
It's weird.
I know.
You're gonna have children?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Is that what you want to talk about now?
Yeah. Listen, we're not here to talk about. We're not here to talk about my life. Nick Leonard is also asking, why doesn't Justin have to make championship weight to win the belt? That's not a serious question.
No, I'm saying Dustin is actually he forfeited his opportunity to win the
He's
belt.
not eligible. He's not eligible to win it.
Yeah, because he came in like a professional. The BMF, the baddest.
Oh, Dustin.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dustin? We're talking about Dustin.
You're saying Dustin should. Okay.
Yeah,
'cause
Dustin's out. Yeah, he can't win it
Uh-huh.
anymore. He can't win it.
Yeah. It's listen, belts are props, and this is one of the biggest props of all. And I think it's great. I see someone's calling in the comments calling the belt overrated. No, who cares? It's fun. I think it's fun. I wish they'd do it more.
It could be fun, but they don't make it fun.
They
fun.
They do kind of remove the fun from it.
They take all the fun away from it.
They made it corporate so fast. It was like a cool idea, and it became corporate in like a day. And then they were like, "Oh, this is."
I do appreciate John Anik yesterday at the presser finally saying "baddest motherfucker." I appreciate that.
Oh, he dropped it. He put
said
it hard F.
Yeah, hard F.
Hard F.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah, that was powerful stuff. John Anik, I think, did a really good job.
Calling it the BMF, because remember Nate Diaz came up with this.
Yes.
And he never called it the BMF. The BMF actually came from Donald Cerrone, and that's what he called his ranch, the BMF ranch.
Mm-hmm. I hope they're both getting, and I'm sure they're both getting some money. Getting money every time the belt's brought up.
Sending money out to fighters. That's their thing.
Someone says BMF is a massively dumb gimmick. Guys, MMA is a massively dumb gimmick. So if you, I don't know how to tell you. If people haven't learned by now that all belts are props, all belts are gimmicks, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, it's just never gonna. And that doesn't mean they're not worth anything. They're worth, one, a lot of money to the fighters that have them. So most importantly, and two, they are, of course, there is some prestige that comes behind them. I'm being a little, definitely being a little facetious and callous when I say they mean nothing. I mean, I don't.
Not at all.
No, they can certainly be the culmination of. Sorry, 1 second. Oh, okay. They can certainly be the culmination of a career. So I'm not gonna like crap all over. I think the last thing a fighter wants to hear is like, "Oh, a belt means nothing." Like, I mean, I can say that. I'm sitting in a chair doing a web stream. You've been in the cage, Casey. You're undefeated.
This belt in particular. What's the rule? What's the criteria for this belt? Like,
none. There isn't.
Yeah,
any.
that's what I mean. I think this is my thing. I think the belt has to be defended once a year, and you have to defend it against someone within 10 pounds. That means anyone 10 pounds above or 10 pounds below can challenge you. So
wait a minute. See, here's the problem. What if? See, that's assuming that it's always going to be a middleweight, like middler weight title. Because like, can't there be a heavyweight BMF title fight?
Yeah. You can come within. You can come at 275.
Oh, you're saying, you want to allow a little room for super heavyweights to get in here. Okay, all right, okay. I get it.
I've thought of everything.
Pro Fights Info.
So now a featherweight could challenge. Yes, they don't, and then if that featherweight wins, then they have to fight at the agreed upon weight.
Yes,
but then
they could fight either direction.
Yeah.
Pro Fights Info asking, why is On to the Next One no longer on this YouTube channel? Where do you watch it now? It never was on YouTube. It's only on YouTube for pay-per-views. Otherwise, it's just a podcast. So Mike and I probably will be doing one for 291. I think 290 we didn't do a video one. I think that's why Pro Fights Info is asking. So I think we did skip a video. But yes, normally when we do pay-per-views, there is a video. We do a live show, and I think there will be one this Sunday. It has a lot to do with Mike's flight schedule. So we always do the show. We always do the podcast every time there's a card. We try to do a live show after every pay-per-view. I think we've missed a couple. So yeah, don't worry about that, guys. That will be. If we do a live show, it'll be on the YouTubes.
Wait, am I mistaken? Didn't Dana say the BMF was a one-off thing?
He did once. Yes, he did once upon a time. Well, he said it won't be defended. I don't know if he said it was a one-off. Jose, I don't know if you're there. Do you remember better than I do? He didn't say one-off, or he just said it's not going to be defended. Like it's not like a regular belt. I don't know if Jose is there right now. I'll get Jose. Jose definitely remembers. H Hart, if a championship belt means nothing, why did we get that Pantoja, Oliveira, Edwards moment? I think it means something. Yeah. I was being a bit like callous before, saying that it doesn't mean anything. Casey's standing by that. Like I said, it can signal the culmination.
I'm saying the BMF belt could mean something, but the way the UFC does it, it means nothing because you can't defend it, and there's no actual rules for the belt.
The BMF belt definitely doesn't. I was talking about titles in general. I was being a bit like
titles in general do mean something. Of course, they mean something.
Sure, they do, but they're also props, right? They're just props that require a little more. That are theoretically based a little more on merit. But again, if anyone's followed combat sports for any period, and no, not just like MMA, boxing probably has a little bit better, but boxing for sure, it's not always the number one person fighting for the undisputed title. They have mandatory challengers in boxing. Imagine if they introduced mandatory challengers in MMA, fans would riot. Fans would be like, "Why is the number 8 guy?" Actually, they wouldn't care.
Sean Strickland is the mandatory.
Right? If this was boxing, Sean Strickland would be the mandatory challenger.
Because he's like, well, I have to fight, and it doesn't matter. Mandatories basically are like, it's not the highest sell. It's not going to sell the best, but I have to get a fight in, so that's mandatory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a championship fights are a very easy way to frame and give give a matchup more context, which is true, as H Hart kind of points out. Why is the second, Edwards Usman fight so important? It's like, you're right, because both guys at that point had reached a certain stature, and that is represented by this shiny gold belt that's on the line. Again, that is the heart of combat sports, right? Is that you're supposed to be fighting for some goal, whether it's MMA, boxing, pro wrestling. But again, depending which motion we're talking about, especially the UFC, they have so much control over how and when the title is defended, that you have to remember, at the end of the day, it is always a prop for the promotion. There is no such thing as like, well, the UFC owns this title. It's not like commission defined thing. The UFC can do whatever they want with the title. I think mostly within reason. I'm not sure if they can strip someone just like willy-nilly.
There's no criteria for this title. There's zero criteria for it.
I'm not talking about BMF though, okay? I'm talking about titles.
We're talking about the official titles. Okay,
yeah. BMF we have accepted is fun nonsense, and I love it. I'm a big fan of the BMF thing. I wish they had more fun with it, and I wish you're right, they defended more often and had some sort of foresight with it. But you know what though? BMFs don't plan, Casey.
Dustin Poirier planned. He came in on championship weight. What's he thinking? I'm so disappointed in him.
Big mistake. Well, let's ask this then. Let's ask this. Casey, with an impressive performance Saturday, does one of these guys line themselves up for the next undisputed?
Why do we add impressive perforence?
Because it has to be impressive.
What? How would Dustin Poirier? How would one of these guys beat the other guy about being impressive?
Yeah, we've seen stranger things happen.
No, you haven't.
I once heard people say, "How is Francis Ngannou versus Derrick Lewis not going to end in a knockout?" I recall these.
What crazy person said that? You never say that.
Had to do a shoey. Some poor innocent soul had to do a shoey because they guaranteed that fight was going to end in the first round.
That was the dumbest bet I've ever heard.
With a win on Saturday.
Even if Dustin Poirier wins in an eye poke, still that's fine. It's like, do you think he moves back in the rankings? If he
no, I'm saying does he get the next title shot? I didn't say does it affect their. I didn't say what effect does it have on the ranking. I'm saying are they all but guaranteed? There's no guarantees in MMA. Are they all but guaranteed the next title shot?
There ain't nothing guaranteed. It's all about who sells more pay-per-views.
Would you assume that the winner is next for? We don't even know what's going on with Islam officially, right? It's him and it is. What's up with him and Charles too? I was away for 2 weeks, people.
No, I thought that was official.
That's official, right?
Yeah. Right?
Yes, Dana White announced it. Dana White announced it. He never lies. So after that fight, does one of these boys get the winner?
Who else is in the running?
I need to look. You know what? Again, I've been away for 2 weeks. I need to look that up myself. Let me throw some names at you, Casey. Do we? Maybe we get the. Maybe if Charles wins, we get a trilogy bout. I don't. I don't know how the UFC
trilogy bout. You also have.
They wouldn't do that.
If Volk beats.
Yes.
Beats to Poirier.
Right.
The timing might line up right.
They might line up. He keeps saying he wants to go back up. He wants that lightweight title. I don't think he cares who has it. I don't think he cares if it's Islam or Charles Oliveira or whoever. Michael Chandler, if this McGregor fight ever happens.
Oh, if
or McGregor. So I shouldn't just say Michael Chandler or McGregor, of course, if McGregor wins because he's McGregor.
Wait, so that fight is never going to happen. That fight that will be at probably 85.
By the time it'll be at 85 in 2025. So at some point. That's really it. After that, you get to we know obviously Beneil just kind of not. I still don't think lost his chance forever, but it's certainly at the second tier now after losing that fight, which really they didn't need to book at all. Then you have Fiziev, Gamrot, Sarukian, Moicano. I'm just looking at sort of my own rankings here. Fiziev and Gamrot again. They're fighting. They're going to fight soon. They're probably still one win away after that. Sarukian's the hot name. Everyone says he wants to see him fight for the title someday. I think there's zero chance he leapfrogs like Poirier, Gaethje, Chandler, McGregor. There's almost no way.
I think a bigger question in this fight is if Justin Gaethje loses, does he retire?
Why do you say that?
Because he said that in his last victory in the cage. He said, "I'm making one more run."
But does that mean the run? Does that signal the end of a run? Like does a run have to be?
If you go by what he said years ago, he's way past his I don't know, not prime, but he said he'll be gone a long time ago. He's extended his career a lot more than he said.
He turns 35 in November.
It's not about his age.
He said he had 5 wars left. And he's
5 wars left.
He said since then he's had 1 war. So I'm going off of that.
Thank you, Jose. So yes.
But did you hear what he said in the cage? His last fight, though, he changes it a lot. I think.
I don't care what he said. People say things.
I was gonna say what people say immediately after a fight. I feel like can't be trusted.
Some guy called a welterweight called out Patty in the cage last fight.
That's a big fight.
Johnny Parsons.
He also because you watched the post fight scrum said, "Wow, I blew that call out. I should have called out MVP."
Yeah,
like, yeah, you should have.
Yeah, those in cage calls, unless you're someone like Michael Chandler who has them pretty well thought out before, not always to be trusted. So, I don't think he's. I haven't thought about Justin Gaethje retiring. I mean, should he? As a doctor, which I am, Casey. Yes, he should retire. But no, he's like you said. I don't expect Saturday's fight to be a blowout either way. I'd be really surprised if it was. And that's going to show just how competitive, whoever win or lose, how competitive Justin Gaethje still is. And yeah, he's got a lot of big fights left. He still wants to fight like Conor McGregor. There's still just a lot of bangers. He shouldn't, if he knows what's good for him. Yeah,
he won't. It's not even like losing. Like Justin will bring up some heinous things. He's not shied away from like voicing, like calling Conor a bad dad and stuff on social media. Conor will never fight him because all that.
Maybe he'd like that though. Conor, I mean.
No, I'm telling you. I know. I am telling you. This is not MMA fighting speculation. It's Jose tells you he will not fight him.
Jose, clip it, Jose. Clip yourself for the future. Clip it, Casey. And then that fight never happens.
Who's not fighting?
Justin Gaethje and Conor McGregor.
Will never fight Justin Gaethje.
Okay.
Never is such a strong word, especially in MMA. Okay, so let's do a little rain dance here. See if we can shake one of these fighters loose, because we're about almost 40 minutes into the official weigh-in time. Plenty of time. We should let people know. Plenty of time. You see the timer on the clock. Over an hour and 20 minutes left. No rush. I'm not worried about any of these fighters. It's a little rain dance though. Let's see if we can shake Michel Pereira loose. Let's see if we can shake the tree and get Michel Pereira to fall out.
Hey, I'm just saying. I still honestly think if Gaethje takes a bad loss and takes a whooping tomorrow night, it might be his last fight.
Casey's calling his shot. He is calling the Gaethje retirement. If it's a One-sided loss or quick knockout. You think he gets like flash KO'd?
Not flash KO. I think flash
Okay.
KOs are fine actually.
He'll be fine. He'll shake that one off.
Actually, it's just a full-on beating. Like he just like he lost the fight. It wasn't like they got in a slugfest 50-50 and then he got hit. If he just like Poirier just looked better that night, like significantly better. We'll see.
All right,
Did you watch the first fight yet again?
I didn't recently. No.
Oh, it's insane. People
That was
forget that.
MMAfighting.com's 2018 Fight of the Year.
We picked a good one.
We always do.
No, you picked. Oh, we were making fun of you bad when you were in Japan about what your submission of the year. What did you pick one year? It was horrible.
Oh, I stand by it.
Slicer.
The calf slicer.
You picked a calf slicer over Demetrius.
You picked
that was
the
sick.
calf slicer over Demetrius Johnson.
I stand by it.
Oh, that was the worst.
I make no apology for this.
It's a freaking calf slicer. Calf slicers aren't like that. Calf slicers aren't that difficult.
Another arm bars. I've seen more arm bars than I've seen calf slicers. Am I wrong? What was that?
That armbar setup. Are you kidding me, man? Okay.
I've never seen that before. I've never seen that before.
You are the. See, I have all this access just to disconnect you and just
do it.
I'm not.
Do it. Disconnect. You know why? Because disconnect the one man who tells the truth. Disconnect the one man who doesn't buy into the hype. All right, the one man who where am I? What's going on? Yeah. Listen. You can't cancel me. All right, over the truth. Many have been, but not this guy. All right. Someone has to be the voice of reason around here. And if it's me and that makes you the bad guy, what am I going to do? It's great. I stand by what I said. Who was it? It was Brett Johns. Brett Johns, you were robbed. I will. Don't worry, Brett Johns. I will make a submission of the year award for you.
I think you just like the way. I think you just like the way calf slicer sounds.
I love it. I love the way it looks.
Sounds vicious.
It's insanely. It is fish. I've never seen someone not like get caught in a calf slicer and like scream for their life. It is just a horrible situation to be in.
You tap.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, no submissions hurt. You just tap. I mean, you know what, people? Let's let the people decide. People go watch Joe Soto and Brett Johns. This is December 2017.
Over Joe Soto.
30 seconds.
In a random prelim on
Great. Listen, this is coming from. I don't know about you, Casey. I watch MMA outside, but besides the UFC. So I know you like. Oh, I need to. It's only if it's in a championship fight is it important.
It was in the UFC.
No, that's what I'm saying. But I'm like, I respect the prelims as much as I do the main card. I don't need to be told that a fight is important. Like, oh, okay, well, I'll pay extra attention to this fight because it's a championship fight. Like, no, I watch all the fights equally. All right, that's how I live my life.
Why are you lying to everybody? You're just lying. Why are you lying?
Check out Misfits this morning. You know, there's only one person who does the regional international recap of highlights from around the world on MMAfighting.com. Is this guy right here, with of course a huge assist from Caposa at Grabaca Hitman and Pereira La Pierna and a lot of people who upload clips. So I'm just aggregating some very, very wonderful clips. But only one person is on that beat aggregating that stuff. This man right here. I'm just saying, you guys can watch all the UFC you want. Okay, UFC, great company. But
it was in the UFC.
I know.
What are you talking about?
It's on the prelims. I'm saying I appreciate the prelims as much as I do the main events. That's all I'm saying. I'm not lying. Check it out, people. Go watch it. It's a great submission. Brett Johns, Joe Soto. It's a great submission.
All right.
Let's shake the tree, Casey.
No. You've put me in a bad mind space.
I'll just do it. I don't need the music. I can just do it.
You ready for the? Oh, you want to do the rain dance? All right, here we go.
Yeah. Let's not get into a take battle, all right? I got dirt on all you guys. Some of your takes. We don't want to go there. We don't want to go there.
What's my bad take?
Okay. Well, Jose's never had one, but
that's true.
Casey, Jed.
Give me one. Give me a bad one. Give me a bad one.
Listen, even my best friend Mike Heck. All right, we've all had them.
I've had bad predictions. We've all had bad predictions, but like, give me a bad this is my opinion.
Casey, we're friends and we're on live television.
We're not.
I wouldn't do that to you.
We are barely friends.
I wouldn't do that to you.
You're not even American.
I'm not American. I'm North American.
Yeah, North America. I don't know. We're not better than South Americans, or even. Yeah.
I was about to say. Oh, Casey, hold on. I see another typo. I will message you.
What? How many typos? What?
I don't know, and I don't know why I'm not seeing them earlier. It's like an optical illusion. It's like I don't know. No, America doesn't need to know. It's check its Slack. This is not America's business. Let's get this rain dance. Let's get this rain dance right.
That is a typo. Yeah.
Jay Ray saying, I'm basing my opinion of a calf slicer on how AJ Styles does it and how pro wrestlers sell it. Very true. Very true. Devastating pro wrestling finisher. All right, let's go. Let's shake the tree. Let's get. I bet I can get Michel Pereira to come out right now.
All right, here we go. Get my keyboard ready. 3, 2, 3.
It's an insane chain that Dana White is wearing.
All right, guys, right at the top of the card, our first two fighters to weigh in. Justin Gaethje was first, coming in at 156, and then Dustin Poirier right after at 155. Those are your lightweight main eventers competing in only the second BMF title fight in UFC history, illustrious. In the co-main event, potentially a number one contenders bout. Not that there's such things exist in the UFC. But we have former champion Jan Blachowicz at 205 and former middleweight champion Alex Pereira moving up to light heavyweight. He came in at 205.5. We are still waiting on both Stephen Wonderboy Thompson and Michel Pereira, who will be the third last fight on the card. We're also waiting for Tony Ferguson, but Tony Ferguson's opponent, Bobby Green, showed up 155.5. Opening the main card, we have Michael Chiesa and Kevin Holland. Chiesa at 170, Kevin Holland at 169.5. Closing out the prelims, we have more welterweights, Trevin Giles at 170 and Gabriel Bonfim at 170. Derrick Lewis weighing in 263.5 for his heavyweight bout with Marcos Rogerio de Lima. We're still waiting on Pizao. We have middleweights official Roman Kopylov at 185 and Claudio Ribeiro at 185.5. More welterweights, Jake Matthews 170, Darius Flowers 170.5, CJ Vergara 125.5. We're waiting on his opponent, Vinicius Salvador. But our first two fights of the show are official. Our first two fights of the card are official. Matthew Semelsberger 169.5, Uros Medic 170.5, Miranda Maverick 125.5, and her opponent Priscila Cachoeira 125. Casey, did you
You kind of messed that up.
did you hear when I said official?
Yeah, I was
Exactly.
disappointed.
And his
I was talking to a PR person yesterday from a promotion that will remain nameless, and I ended the call with, it was a very quick conversation, but I was trying to be super professional, and I ended the call with, take to you later. Take to you later. I was mortified, and it was like I didn't even have time to correct myself. Like I said it, and then I hung up, and I'm like, oh. But now I'm just owning it.
Right.
Now I'm just owning it. I'm just the next time I talk to this person, I'm just going to say that again. Or anytime the great Shaheen Al-Shadi, I already cried about this to Shaheen Al-Shadi, and he said you should just now every time you say talk, you would say talk, just say take instead, and people will just think you have some sort of weird Canadian accent. And I'm like, that's not bad. I'm going to own it.
Let's take some questions.
You mean let's talk some questions?
Let's talk some questions.
Jody wants to know, would Dana White put the alien we found in a fight? Would it be a gimmick fight? No. Again, Joe, he doesn't do gimmick fights. Didn't you know? Dana White said explicitly, we don't do gimmick fights in the UFC.
We just try to make him happen.
Yeah, we'll just
sell the T-shirts for gimmick fights.
The other thing to think here is, who's to say he hasn't already put an alien inside the octagon?
Ooh.
Casey, who's Jose, I'll give you a chance. Jose will have a great answer, so I'm going to let him, unless he already has one. But in case I'll ask you first.
GSP. Maybe GSP's an alien.
Oh, that's it. That's an interesting one.
I could see that. I could see him like.
I could see that.
Like when he goes to the locker room, he unzips his face. And
He's also Canadian. He's also Canadian, like me, which is like that's one layer of strangeness right there. And then it's not.
Essentially, every Canadian could be an alien. I think.
Yes.
Shannon Bozer, alien. Yeah. Jonathan Goulet, definitely alien.
Jose, if there was one fighter, not even just one, if you could name one or more fighters who, like, someone told you, oh, by the way, this guy's actually an alien who is allowed to fight in the UFC, who would come, or in MMA in general? I shouldn't even say just the UFC.
Are you asking me who I think is an alien?
Who do you think could be an alien?
Fight the alien?
No. Who do you think could be an alien?
Darren Elkins.
Oh, why? Why do you say that?
Because he looks like the alien from Men in Black 1.
He looks like the not man. Oh, Vincent D'Onofrio.
Not the bug, the cockroach thing that takes over the human body.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
I don't remember. I haven't seen that in like 15 years. But you know what I'm talking about? Sugar,
I don't.
Sugar. You know that guy?
The
bad guy from Men in Black.
Oh, Vincent D'Onofrio. Okay, sure, a bit. Yeah, okay.
But specifically that alien. I don't think Darren Elkins looks like Vincent D'Onofrio. I think he looks like Vincent D'Onofrio.
There's a correction to my suggestion. GSP.
D says GSP was abducted by aliens. He is not an alien himself. That's a good theory. He would certainly support that. Jeff Drapham saying Yoel Romero, which is I think a very good suggestion. I don't know. I don't have any other idea how you explain Yoel's career, or his continued just like being a freak. I saw a couple of people say this. Fender Jazz, Tony Ferguson. Yeah, I don't know how he's right. The name is right in front of me. I don't know why I didn't just throw that out right away. Tony is one of a kind, to say the least. He is one of a kind.
Tony's from another planet. I'll give you that.
Bub, Yuri Prochazka is an alien trying his best to be human. I would disagree with that. I would disagree that he's trying his best to be human. I don't think he's trying to convince us. He's pretty out there. He's pretty out there.
The aliens are like, all right, how do humans act?
Yeah. Oh, this is bad. Slane says Joanna Jacek after fighting Zhang Weili. Okay, I mean, that was scary though. Every time I watch that fight, I forget how brutal. Like it looked just like even if you didn't see the fight, if you just saw how she looked after, you'd be like, wow, that had to be one of the craziest fights ever.
All right, we're going. Next question. One more.
All right, what do we got? What do we got, Casey? Oh, the Last Stand 001 wants to know what will be a more exciting fight, Dustin Justin 2 or Spence versus Crawford. I think from a pure action standpoint, I'm always going to lean towards Dustin and Justin, but the Spence Crawford fight is just so highly anticipated. It's one of those fights like it's just going to be full of tense, like that kind of tense excitement, right? Does that make sense, Casey? Like
I'm way more hyped for. I mean, obviously Justin too is
great fight,
cool. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah,
but Spence Crawford is the fight I've been waiting for a long time, and I'm kind of bummed I won't be able to dedicate all my attention to it. Mm-hmm. But that's just how it goes.
I will be covering it for MMAfighting.com. Don't be jelly, Casey.
But you'll be kind of you're gonna have your eyes over here too. That's what I mean. Like I'm not gonna have a chance to kind of just sit down and watch the whole broadcast and watch all the walkouts and and all that stuff. I'll kind of be like, okay, the fight started. Now I'm gonna look over, type of thing. So I'm not gonna get the full pageantry, and experience of it.
And I think the fact that, of course, Saturday's UFC main event is a rematch, and a rematch that a lot of people want to see. It's not like this. I
love rematches, by the way.
Me too.
I'm not bad on rematches.
But the first fight was so good. I think my thing is like how could they live up to that first fight? Because if they surpass the excitement of the first fight, and we're talking like an all-timer, we're talking like a top 15.
Oh no!
In MMA history, if they're because that first fight is incredible.
In
like
MMA,
I haven't watched it recently, but
has a rematch that was put together because the first match was so freaking awesome. Has a rematch ever lived up to the hype of the first one?
Oh, that's a Jose question.
Say it again.
In MMA, for rematches that are set up purely on excitement, because the first one was so freaking great and exciting, Has a rematch ever exceeded or equaled the first one?
I just thought of one, but I'll let Jose go first.
They're hard to find. I'm sure there's a couple in there. Because a lot of times we'll have like the second and third be amazing, but the first was a kind of a dud, or first and third were amazing, but the second was a dud, or I don't know.
Yeah. Shogun Dan Henderson was pretty good, but the first one was obviously better.
Mm-hmm.
The second one was really good.
It was really good, but yeah, it didn't. Yeah, first one was fight of the year though. Oh yeah, I got it right here. Geez, obviously, Chandler Eddie Alvarez. There you go.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
The first
Chandler,
one,
one and two are equally as good.
I was thinking Spencer Fisher and Sam Stout. I thought they had a great
that's good
series.
too.
Yeah. I thought their series was so good.
Which is very depressing to talk about because those fights ruined a man. Like,
Yes, true.
Like,
we know, yeah.
There've been a lot of rematches where the first one was not close and the second one was unbelievable. Like Aldo and
Chad Mendes
and Connor and Nate and Connor and Nate. Like the first two were like finishes, and then the second ones were like some of the best ever.
I guess we can count. I'll count Connor and Nate.
Hendricks Lawler. That's a good one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
You're right. Both of them were.
Those are just that was round 6 through 10.
Yeah,
in that second
Lawler, both fights. Yeah, because I think like Lawler McDonald, the first one was kind of whatever, but the second one was obviously kind of a classic.
Sheila brings up, what about Edgar Maynard? The first fight was whatever. The second fight, obviously, personally, my favorite fight ever.
2 and 3 were awesome, but the first one
and 3 was pretty great. But 3 was pretty great. So I think if you just count the 2 championship fights, I think that fits for sure. Yeah. I'm trying to see what else. Vlad's saying Adesanya and Pereira.
They weren't great fights.
The first
great drama and great.
The second fight was insanely exciting, and as short as it was. The first fight was good. I don't remember it being super exciting throughout, though. It was a good fight. It was a good fight. I'm not saying it was a bad fight. It wasn't like a great back and forth battle. If I may be misremembering, I may just be thinking about the second fight too much. Salamander Man, Lawler McDonald 2. Yeah, but Lawler McDonald 1 wasn't amazing. It was good. It was a good fight, but it wasn't amazing.
You know what's another underrated answer is Moreno Figgy 2, 1 and 2. The third one was awesome.
Yeah.
Because that's unique because it was a draw. It was like a draw, a submission, fight of the year contender, not like TKO. Like those 4 fights were all exciting. There was no bad fight between those 2.
Oh, I got another one. Josh Thompson, Gil Melendez.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I love that series.
There are a few of them where the first one was freaking amazing and the second one was just as amazing.
That's a forgotten series, Thompson and Melendez. That's forgotten now. That's like one we just don't talk about anymore, which is a bit sad.
I remember after their trilogy, I think at the post presser, somebody asked them, do they want to fight again? And both of them were like, no. I do not want to fight that guy again.
Scott McCrate mentions Poirier Alvarez 1 and 2. Poirier Alvarez, the first one, actually was a decent fight until unfortunately it ended in a no contest. That actually was. I think we forget that was a good fight until it got it just didn't get to finish.
Oh yeah.
More importantly than any of this fight talk is the official Twitter accounts of the Whisper Inside tweeted at me, and I'm very excited.
I'm following your this exchange. I don't understand any of it. I'm very old.
It's very bizarre.
I don't understand. You're something Wolf Clan. You're a Wolf Clan. I don't know what that means.
No, it's not a clan. It's a school.
Okay, I've embarrassed myself.
Go home.
I will not mention this again.
Do your homework, bro. Watch the show.
I'm not. That's just bad journalism. Oh, this is a good question. I saw this. Tenzin N wants to know: will there ever be a UFC fight held outside? Venues are getting kind of boring.
There already has been, baby. I was there.
That's why he brought up the question, so he could flex on us. Go ahead, Casey.
Abu Dhabi, baby. First one, outdoor. BJ Penn versus Frankie Yeager. And the very bad decision. But Frankie Yeager did end up being the better fighter. But that night, it was a bad decision. Though.
Was that the same card as Damian Maia and Anderson?
Yeah. No.
Yes.
Yeah?
No?
Wait,
yes. No?
Was it?
I don't remember.
Yes, no, maybe so.
I don't think it was.
Let me do a real quick check. I swear it was, but my memory.
You might be right. Yeah, I think it
so
was the same night.
bad.
Yeah.
I think you are correct.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and also Renzo Gracie, the truly bizarre Renzo Gracie Matt Hughes fight.
Oh,
Looked great on paper. Looked like a fun fight on paper, but then it actually
RDA
happened.
was on that card.
Yep.
RDA
Correct.
and Mark Munoz were on that card, right? They won. That was
Yep.
the main card.
I remember.
And I know Phil Davis beat Gus in the
Prelims.
Yep.
'Cause
Darcy
I
choked
thought
him or
Phil
something.
Davis was going to be a future champ.
He could have been.
He
He's
was
top 5,
in
top
Bellator.
10. Yeah.
Oh, he was a future
That's
champion.
true. I
Bellator.
meant you. I'm saying at the time in the like because he was still undefeated and like had such high level wrestling accolades, and then he ran into Rashad Evans on like UFC on Fox 2. Oh, Wonder Boy's here.
Hey.
Yeah, there was nothing. That's not a bad prediction. Thinking Phil Davis.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
He's very good.
We got Stephen Thompson coming up. Wonder Boy, the NMF. He really wants the NMF title.
Nicest milk farmer.
Yes.
To the scale. Competing live on pay-per-view in the UFC's welterweight division, former world title challenger and the 7th-ranked contender, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson.
A 40-year-old Wonder Boy. And highly pixelated.
40 years young. 40 years young. Still Wonder Boy.
$170.5. Official weight for Stephen Wonderboy Thompson.
170.5 for Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. We are still waiting on his opponent, Michel Pereira, but that's 1/2 locked in there. Michel Pereira, a massive welterweight, has missed once, infamously. We were there, Casey, I think.
And there were a lot of circumstances that led to that.
Fight.
But yeah.
His team was not with him. I mean, his team could not travel with him for that show.
I can't imagine trying to cut
And then he
weight
was
by
up.
yourself.
He was upset by Canada's own Tristan Connolly. All right. What was the outdoor question? Outdoor venues question. Yeah, I think in general we wish UFC would be a little more adventurous, but they don't have to be. They'd much rather just keep running shows at the Apex.
There's a venue in LA about 10 miles from me that they have big. It used to be the StubHub Center, but I don't know what it's called now. But there's boxing events there all the
That's
time.
where I saw Triple G box there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there you go.
Ooh.
It always changes names. It's like now something like the homemedical.com arena now. Something stupid. I don't, they have whatever names. But it's such a good venue for boxing, and I've always bummed out that there hasn't been cage fights there. It's actually a tennis court. It's actually set up originally was for like big championship tennis matches. So you imagine that kind of size. So yeah, I wish the UFC would go there, or any event, or even like Bellator.
Jose?
Oh, he muted himself. I think he
He wasn't talking to us. Okay. Tenzin N says, where is it? He had a funny comment. Calling yourself NMF, the nicest MFer, is a big giveaway to being a psychopath. No, I call myself nice all the time. I'm a normal person.
No, you're
right,
not.
Casey?
No, you're absolutely not.
So that just justifies this comment then.
Yeah. It's like calling yourself cool. You can't You
definitely can't do that. You definitely can't do that.
Only your mom can call you cool.
And then he says the WMF weirdest MFer goes to that guy. Let me bang, bro. His name is Julian Lane, sir. His name is Julian Night Train Lane.
Fights in BKFC. I think he had a pretty good fight against Mike Perry. I think Mike Perry did. Him.
Speaking of the BKFC, Casey, Derrick Lewis, BKFC.
What? Why are you so far away?
I was leaning back for my, because take to you later.
All right.
That's gonna be my show. I'm on a lot of MMA fighting. When I do my own show, it's gonna be called Take to You Later. And it's not an MMA show; it's a comedy show.
All right. Was Zombie Garcia 2? What was I know the first one.
The second fight wasn't super exciting. It did have an awesome finish with the twister.
Okay, and there was a twister. That's why people.
Yeah,
really
it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad fight at all. It was a good fight. I don't know if I would put it. I don't know if I would put it. But it does fit the criteria of the question though, that they made it just because the first fight was so exciting.
Yeah.
Like, there was no reason to make the fight other than like, well, that
Hey.
first fight was awesome. Here's Tony Ferguson.
Let's see if he's an alien. I feel like we need some techno music.
The new Techno Viking, Tony Ferguson.
Yeah.
155, the official weight for Tony Ferguson.
Championship weight. Listen, Tony says he's not done. He says he's not done. Casey, you mentioned Justin Gaethje has sort of
Say it.
flirted-
Say it.
Oh, I'm sorry. His fight with Bobby Green is now official. Casey, you said like Justin Gaethje has hinted at retirement. Tony Ferguson has not hinted, unless I don't listen to everything, but I don't think he's interested in that talk at all.
5 fights in the belt. That's what he said.
Tony Ferguson.
Yeah, he said win 5, get the belt.
Win 5, get the belt. Number one Tony fan, Shaheen El-Shadi, is out there somewhere pumping his fist, I'm sure. I'm skeptical. I'll tell you right now, I'm picking Bobby Green to win.
I will be right back, guys. Gonna get edited the video.
All right, thank you, Jose. I don't remember I don't remember when. I think it was after the Charles Oliveira fight. I think I said, I'm never picking Tony again. I think it's probably after Darrius. Right? I think I might have picked him to beat Darrius.
Not the Nate Diaz fight, because losing the Darrius, losing the Charles Oliveira is like, all right, you lost the top 5.
He looks
guys.
so bad. It's not just the losing. It's like you could, it's like where you have to go. You really have to like see the performance. I do think I picked him. I think I picked him to beat Darrius. I'm gonna look at my terrible. Let's go to my terrible predictions.
I think it was his Nate Diaz performance that really kind of like,
But that was the most recent one. And I know the Michael Chandler one because I think he won the first round. So
yeah,
he
was. That's the crazy part. He dropped Michael Chandler. Like he dropped him hard.
Yeah.
Like, that's like. I talked a lot. I talked with Jed on BTL. Like just like the margins of error are just so small, but so gigantic in this sport.
I definitely picked Tony Ferguson to beat Darrius. So I think it was I think it was ahead of the Chandler fight where I was like, I can't pick him to win anymore. I did have him in my rankings for a long time, kind of for the reasons you just said. It's like, listen, he's losing to Justin Gaethje, he's losing to Oliveira, he's losing to Darrius. Like he's not losing to anyone behind him. Like he was at no point was he losing to people. He was never losing to people behind him. He was always losing to people ahead of him. I probably should have dropped him out sooner, but again, for me, that's the benefit of taking fights against like top competition still is, or at least reaching a point where you get nothing but top competition. You kind of get to hold on to your spot. Maybe that's not fair.
Remind me how the Oliveira fight went.
It's the same thing as the Darrius fight. It's just out grappled. Like could not get up. Could not do anything.
Did he make the full 15 minutes?
He did. He just had almost no offense.
Yeah. It's a weird thing how we judge fighters. Like getting your ass kicked 15 minutes. Because we're seeing 15 minutes of it versus you get caught in a rear naked choke in the first round. We go you got caught, but when we see 15 minutes of butt kicking, it sticks it glues in our head longer, I think.
Definitely. That was so sobering for me about the Darrius fight. I was like, because I was huge on the Charles Oliveira train, so I'm like, Charles is probably going to beat him, and that's just because of how much I like Charles, not because I thought Ferguson was washed at that point. Then when I saw the Darrius fight, I like Darrius too, but just again for him to get neutralized, like for those 2 fights, he barely had like any offense. That was like 2 straight fights where he barely did anything.
And that's the thing, because like in the Darrius fight, that fight should have been he should have tapped and it should have been over in the first, I think, round and a half when he got caught in that heel hook or something, and like he blew his knee out. Like the fight should have just been over then, but he somehow decided to fight with a bum leg, so he just got his butt kicked for the next 8-9 minutes, which is like you're not gonna beat Darrius on a bum leg. You just never are. So it just made. I think it made. But for me, it was the Nate Diaz fight. But even the Nate Diaz fight, there's a lot of weird circumstances that went in that fight, so it's hard to tell. Tony Ferguson is not a championship caliber fighter anymore, but is he a top 15 fighter anymore? I think we'll find that out.
I just don't think he can pull that trigger anymore. I think he's been in he's 39. He's 39 years old in real life years. He's 58 years old in fight years. Like, he has been in wars. It takes a lot to go on the kind of win streak he did. Like, that's not just what's happening in the cage. Think about like how much time and sweat there was in the training to go on that streak. Like, he's put in, his body has been through it, and mentally, even if he's there, I don't know if the body can respond like it used to. Not that Bobby Green's a spring chicken. Bobby Green is 36.
Yeah.
And he's also in his 50s. And if we're talking about fight years, he's arguably older than Tony. But I don't know. I've liked some of his results more. Again, he hasn't fought as great competition as Tony has, but I can't pick Tony anymore.
Is anyone picking Tony in this fight?
Oh, I'm sure. I haven't asked Shaheen. Check out the preview show later today. I'll be on it.
It was so high on Tony Ferguson.
He loves him.
I never thought Tony Ferguson was the best lightweight in the world. Even when he got that long run and he just due to injuries, he could never get that fight. But I always thought Tony Ferguson obviously was clearly an elite lightweight, but I never thought he was the best. He just gets hit too much to be the best. And that's why guys like Islam and Islam and Habib have kind of ruled that top for a while because they're actually very good defensive fighters. Yeah.
Don't get hit. I had talked myself into Ferguson being able to beat Habib a long time in the prime of the Ferguson Habib talk when that fight kept getting booked, and I had talked myself into I think Ferguson can do it, and in retrospect, I mean, probably not. Jed Meshew was always Team Habib. Jed Meshew, I think, has always said he never thought Ferguson really had a chance, and then as their careers became more clear, you're like, now we can look back and say he definitely probably wouldn't have been. I would love to see.
Overall, Ferguson's a more exciting fighter, I think, just in pure just violence and blood and everything, all that kind of fun stuff. But in terms of just winning fights, that was always going to be an issue against the top of the top. So.
We have Amir Sadallah in the comment. I don't think if this is the real Amir Sadallah, welcome. I have a feeling it's probably former Ultimate Fighter champion Amir Sadallah. I don't think it is, but the comment. I remember when Woodley had failure to launch. I see the exact same thing happening to Tony. That's kind of what I'm talking about. Is if you look at Tyron Woodley, every fight he was showing up in near that losing streak at the end, incredible. He looked like the same Tyron Woodley. He looked like the same. Physically looked incredible. He'd say the stuff fighters always say, best camp of my life. And guess what? I bet in camp he was crushing it. I've been in camp, he was probably crushing it, ragdolling his training partners. But you only have so many fights in you. Again, in any combat sport, boxing, kickboxing, MMA, you really only have so many fights in you. And then just at some point you just kind of lose that ability to pull the trigger. That's what I think Tony is.
But we say everyone says that about Woodley. But then what happened when Woodley did pull the trigger? Remember, Luque dropped him and choked him out.
He got knocked up. He also got knocked out by Jake Paul.
Yeah. Well, that's different. That's a different thing. Yeah. That's something different.
Yeah. Heroes Workshop wants to say Tony was doing pretty good against Chandler until he did. He won the first round.
He was doing really good.
He's not afraid to engage like Woodley was. Yeah, their decline is certainly different. I shouldn't make it an apples to apples comparison. It's not the same thing.
And that's been Woodley had that kind of throughout his whole career, except when he did land that big shot. But there were so many fights that, do you remember the Woodley Jake Shields fight? God, those are horrible. I think Woodley Roy McDonald fight. I think
the second Wonder Boy fight.
Yeah, second Wonder Boy fight. When people hate the second fight so much, and they forget the first one was fight of the night on one of the best cards ever.
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, it is different. I shouldn't compare them so completely. But yeah, and people are right. Tony at least is still. You still see.
Tony's not. It's not a trigger thing. He's just old.
Mm-hmm.
He's
old. I think it's maybe more defensively is the issue. I don't know, but you still see a lot of the flashes. I get it. But I can't buy into those flashes anymore.
I have
those
a repairman coming right now. I'm gonna jump off real quick.
You're joking. Oh, yeah, that's not a metaphor. All right. Well, Casey's got the repairman over. We got about 45 minutes left to weigh in. I'm not going to do a full rundown here, but as you guys can see, we're just waiting on 3 names. Michel Pereira, Marcos Rogerio de Lima. No, Jose. Now, do I have you? I mean, can I pick your brain a little bit?
I exist.
Okay. But, well, I don't know. I know when you're on site, you're juggling like 20 different things. So I hope you have like a second to
More
take
like
a breather
7.
here. Who's there with you? Is Oscar Willis there?
Yeah, he's sitting right next to me.
Can you tell him I said, come on, you Spurs?
AK asked me to relay a message to you that says, "Come on, you Spurs."
Go on, you Spurs.
There you go.
There we go. I'm a Tottenham guy right now. My loyalty's on loan to Tottenham. So anyway, that's a whole
Why?
thing. That's a whole other thing.
Why?
Because the coach of my favorite team, Celtic, I'm actually a Celtic guy. Their coach went to Tottenham.
Hold that thought. I'm giving the other. All right, now repeat what you were saying.
I said I've talked to Oscar. I'm a fan of Tottenham now because
he's listening.
I'm rooting for Celtic. I want Celtic's coach to succeed in the Premier League, just to show that the Scottish League is. Everyone's like Scottish League is crap. I'm like, screw you. This man's tactical work anywhere, and I hope it works in the Premier League. And I hope for Oscar, Oscar's kind of been helping me to transition into Spurs fandom, so it's much appreciated.
I mean, the Scottish League is crap, but Tottenham are great.
How dare you? You won't say that after Ange brings you a Premier League title, all right? Ange's going to bring you a Premier League title, and then I want you to take those words back.
Hey, and while we're at it, I hate Bayern Munich now because they're tapping up Harry Kane. But anyway, these people
won't
listen
get
for
him.
MMA news, guys. Go get it.
Oh, yes. I mean, what's up? Thanks, Oscar. Thanks, Oscar, for joining us in the Matt Ross. Let's go, Glasgow Celtic. You're damn right, Matt Ross. You're damn right. Yeah, I'm not talking to the Boston Celtics. I'll tell you that right now. You'll never hear me root for them. But Glasgow Celtic, hells yeah, that's my shit.
Whoa.
Right. Casey, how'd it go with the repairman?
It was fine. We have issues with our shower door, so I just had to let the gentleman in and stuff.
Casey punched him.
Took him out.
Yeah. How dare you?
So I don't want people to get nervous again. We have said Michel Pereira has missed weight before with some extenuating circumstances. It was in Canada, and God help him for having to even come up here. And then he was without his team. I'll read this question in a second. Marcos Rogerio de Lima, I don't think has missed weight at heavyweight or light heavyweight. Definitely not heavyweight. At light heavyweight, pretty sure he never has. Oh, that's a lie. I just straight up lied to America. He missed weight twice. I had to quickly go to Wikipedia.
A heavyweight?
He's missed weight at not light heavyweight, so it shouldn't be an issue now. But he has for the sake of clarity, he has missed weight twice. Not a heavyweight. Obviously, he went up and he's been a fat and happy boy since. And Vinicius Salvador, I don't think has missed weight before, but I literally just said the same thing about Marcos Rogerio de Lima and was super wrong. So let me just take a quick look at his UFC fights. He's only had one, so not very different. So no real track record in the UFC for Vinicius Salvador. I'm just going to say now, no reason to be nervous. I'm Prince of Positivity here. Everyone's going to make weight. No problem. Pro Fights Info. Will the Black Beast move into sole possession of first place for most knockouts in UFC history tomorrow night? Pro Fights, are you asking, do we think it's going to happen? Or are you just asking strictly from a statistical
He's tied right
standpoint?
now, right? He's tied for first,
right? Isn't he already number one?
Him and Matt Brown. I think Matt Brown's number one.
Well, sole possession. Yeah, maybe he's tied. That's right. Okay, I think that's why Pro Fights Info is asking. Yeah, because Matt Brown. Right. Let me take a quick look there. Matt Brown has, yes, the most knockouts in welterweight history at 13, and then Derrick Lewis most in heavyweight history 13. So I guess this is yes, he will if he succeeds. Do we think it'll happen? I don't think so. Casey, what's your read on it?
Yeah, 50-50 chance. If he wins, he has a knockout. If he loses, then if you're picking him to win, he'll break the record. If you're picking him to lose, he won't break the record.
What's the last time he won not by knockout? Francis Ngannou? Ilir Latifi?
I mean,
And Blachowicz even I have no recollection of these fights.
Yeah, the TV fight was horrible.
He lost that fight.
I thought he won that fight, but it was still a bad fight.
Blachowicz, split decision.
The Blachowicz fight. Blachowicz was just impossible to knock out.
All right. But it's been a while. It's been 3 years. 3 years
NFC.
since he's 3 years since he's gone to a decision. Pizzao, I think, never goes to a decision. That's a lie. He went to a decision in his last fight. Listen, I do this for a living.
So bad at this.
I do this for a living. Okay? I do this for a living.
First, you gotta go do better journalism.
Yeah, do better.
Listen, Wolf Group. I'm sorry, I can't be cool and be in the Wolf Group like Jose Young's, all right? I wish.
I'm not even part of that. I'm School of the Bear in the game. Like, that's my.
I don't.
That's my.
I have no idea. I have no idea what you just said. I did not understand that.
AK and Jose. Derrick
Yes.
Lewis.
Yes, Casey.
100% he's a future UFC Hall of Famer?
I would hope so.
Okay, just double checking. I know
Jose?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'm pretty confident too. I was just You know, you never fought, you never won a belt. Hey,
Yeah.
photo time. What's going on?
Hey, why not?
For commission.
I think eventually there will be a second tier of guys, or there already is. If people consider Don Cerrone like a tier 2 guy, listen, all Hall of Fames have tiers. There's tier 1 guys, tier 2, tier 3. Yeah.
I think Jim Miller should get, like, if they're not going to induct him as a fighter, like Jim Miller, Joe Lozon should be in the Hall of Fame, because Joe Lozon should be in the Hall of Fame, and that's the way to get both of them in there.
Yeah. That's a good way to get around that, right? Not that I think the UFC, like specifically Dana White, cares about.
I don't count
optics,
that as like for the fight. I'm talking about individually.
What? You're saying Diego Sanchez isn't a UFC Hall of Famer?
No.
Clay Guida?
I don't think so.
They're in there. They're in there
as individuals.
No, as a fighter.
Oh, Clay Guida.
I mean, as a fight. Excuse me.
No, I'm talking about as individuals. Yeah, I mean, they're still like Clay Guida is still an active UFC fighter. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you can still be in there, and I mean, BJ Penn was inducted as an active UFC fighter. I think he was in the middle of one of his retirements.
Why was it was done a retirement? Yeah,
I think he was in one of his quasi retirements. Yeah. Mark Coleman's in there after getting head kicked by Pete Williams. Is he a 2-time guy? Is he in there on his own as well? He's in there for getting head kicked by Pete Williams, which is bizarre.
He is?
He's in there for the fight. Him and Pete Williams, I remember, their fight got inducted.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's not like an amazing fight. I don't know. I mean, I do know why.
Not.
I hope they put Robbie Lawler versus Carlos Condit in the Hall of Fame next year. If they did Rory McDonald, the Lawler McDonald this year, next year put the better one in. Put the Lawler Condit fight in.
Yes, that has to get in there eventually. I mean,
they should honestly just rename it Robbie Lawler win.
Yes, that would be brilliant.
Donald, him Condit, him versus Matt Brown, him versus Johnny Hendricks. Like, there's not a lot of bad Robbie Lawler fights.
Mm-hmm.
The Cerrone fight was pretty bad.
You thought the Cerrone fight was bad? I thought it was okay.
The Cerrone fight?
I remember Robbie.
I don't think it was bad. It was just, I think, if I remember, that was the week I got all my stuff stolen, so I was like really preoccupied with that.
Yeah.
But I remember Robbie came out and tried to decapitate Cowboy like right out of the gate, and then Cowboy survived, and then it was just a fine fight after that.
Yeah. It wasn't nothing. It wasn't a bad fight. It just wasn't fight of the year.
But regarding like the getting into the Hall of Fame, though, it's like it depends how much they want to be like other sports, because Jose's probably has a pretty comprehensive knowledge of the Baseball Hall of Fame. I know the Basketball Hall of Fame pretty well. It's like there's a lot of names in there that you'd be like there are certainly lower end Hall of Famers, right? And I don't know, Jose, how you feel about that.
We're seeing that a lot more now with the NBA one is odd because they'll induct whole teams, and they'll induct like Michael Jordan is a 2-time Hall of Fame because he's on the Dream Team and he's in as an individual. And then you have contributors where it's like Yao Ming is in the Naismith Hall of Fame, even though he was obviously immensely talented, but his peak was like 2 years. Like he was good for 2 years, but he's in the basketball Fame. And with baseball, and like obviously like Joe Dumars is in Basketball Hall of Fame. He is not a Hall of Fame worthy player, but he was a very good executive. So I think they kind of take that into account too. But for baseball now, you have this like veterans committee. I don't know the exact naming of it, where baseball, there's a limit of how many times you can be on the ballot. And if you fall under a certain threshold of votes, they just take you off. Or after 15 years, if you don't get in, they take you off. That's why like Jim Rice took 15 years to make the Hall of Fame. Very stupid, but he still made it. Now you have this like veteran committee where every few years they'll vote in players that got really close and they'll take a vote. So like Fred McGriff just got in this past year, and he was
former
always,
Blue Jay.
He was always kind of the one that people pointed at, like didn't take steroids, and he was the definition of borderline Hall of Fame. Like, and
he had he had the 500 homers, right? Didn't he have the 500
he had like
he never had 500.
Like 498. He had like 498. Something, I don't know the exact number, so he was close, but he got in this time, and like no one complained because like at the time he was great, but like Don Mattingly's not on the Hall of Fame. Like he could fall into that thing. Or
You have a lot. You have a lot of people in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Scott Rowland also made it. I love Scott Rowland. Scott Rowland just made it in.
Baines made the Hall of Fame. That
Yeah.
dude is not a Hall of Fame baseball.
You have a lot of guys who were never like top 3 in their position.
Never
making the Hall of, which I'm fine with. Like I said, for me, the Hall of Fame does not need to be super elite. Maybe that's sort of where
baseball.
I don't know. I think like statistical greatness, longevity is a big thing for me. So like I'm okay with guys who are like, oh, this guy was a top 10 player for 12 years, but was not really a top. Like I'm kind of okay with that. I'm like,
It's tough, man, because there's some players like if Mike Trout retired right now, he had been playing for 10 years. Like he's going to the Hall of Fame.
Has to be.
There's only like Kershaw, him. That's probably it. No, Scherzer. Those are like the only guaranteed Hall of Famers right now.
Yeah. Nivathan Kuganantham asking, AK, should Robert Ory be in the NBA basketball? I should say NBA, the Basketball Hall of Fame. No, he shouldn't,
tough.
and he doesn't. And he doesn't need to be. He doesn't need to be.
No. Heck yeah, I love Robert.
No, he doesn't. I love Robert Ory.
Rockets.
Here's why he doesn't need to be. He has 7 rings. He's famous. Hall of Fame is for, again, mostly elite players. Because if you're me, I'd make a case for like Derek Fisher too. One half of the greatest backcourt of all time. Him and Kobe Bryant combined for like 40,000 points. But I'm joking. I wouldn't put Derek Fisher in there either. No, the rings are his Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
He doesn't need it. He doesn't. You have 7 championship rings. You are famous. That is your Hall of Fame credentials right there. He doesn't. I wouldn't put guys. The weirdest one are guys like Casey Jones, who has on like eight championships with the Celtics, and he deserves them. But if you look at his stats, you're like, oh crap, like this guy made the Hall of Fame, like he did nothing. And it's like, well, it's different. And you had a couple. From what I heard, I've never seen him play as well before my time. But anyway, there was another. Sorry, Casey, you had another good comment on there. Oh.
Casey Jones is the one that obviously Texas Western, which is now UTEP, when Texas Western won the national championship, the first team in the field of all-black starting 5 against Kentucky, who had obviously an all-white team. Casey Jones played for the Kansas team, the Kansas team that faced Texas Western in the tournament and hit a 3 or something to win the game, but then the ref determined that he was standing on the line, and Texas Western won and moved on. So Casey Jones almost ruined history.
Was this as depicted in Glory Road?
Yes,
right. That movie. Yeah. Casey Jones, also one of only like 12 basketball players ever to win in college, the Olympics, and the NBA. So there you go. There's a little.
Casey Jones played like 9 years, and he has 8 championships.
8 rings, yeah. 8 championships, yeah.
He won a championship in the first 8 years of the league.
Good work if you can get it.
And then he retired. After not winning.
I got a question.
I thought he was a vigilante. In Ninja
in the Ninja.
No, well,
by the way,
so you're thinking. See, here's where you got that mixed up. It's an easy mistake. Casey Jones, the basketball player, is the letter K period C.
Correct.
So it's initials. Casey Jones, the masked vigilante hockey player from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles IDW publishing company, is CASEY.
Jose, did Shaheen tell you that he went to go see the 1990?
Just giving me shit right now.
Did Shaheen tell you he went to go see the 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie in theaters this week?
Sounds like a good time to me.
Secret of the Ooze?
He was going
part 1 or part 2?
That's part 2. Secret of the Ooze is part 2. He went to see the 1990 original. He was going to go see Oppenheimer. He was going to go see Oppenheimer with a couple of his friends. Shaheen, if you're out there, I'm sorry if I'm putting you on blast with the story. I was talking to him yesterday. He was going to go see Oppenheimer on Tuesday, but then the theater they went to was apparently showing the 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, and they said, guys, when are we going to get a chance to watch this movie in theaters again? And probably not for a long time. So they just did it. And he said obviously he said it was a great time.
Yeah.
He saw a 90-minute Ninja Turtles movie instead of sitting in a theater for 3 hours watching Oppenheimer. So I don't know, you guys, you be the judge. Maybe he did make a good call.
Me and Shaheen were the ones in backstage at Bellator. Ernie Reyes Jr. was back there, and I was like, "You're in Surf Ninjas," and Sean was like, "You play Kano, Ninja Turtles too," and we like freaked out.
Moto Surf. Casey just dipped. I was going to ask him a question.
We have a guy coming too.
Oh, we have a guy coming. Okay, good. Scott McCrate had a good question. I want to read this after.
Marcus de Lima is about to step up.
Oh, we got a heavyweight coming up. All right. But Scott McCrate, I see your question from a while back. I want to get to it. It's a great question. I've got it sitting in front of me, but let's see Pazal come to the scale here.
This morning, competing in the UFC's heavyweight division, the 15th ranked contender, Marcos Rogerio de Lima.
Is it a half show? That's a heavyweight. That's a 205er. That's now a heavyweight.
362, the official weight.
262 for Marcos Rogerio de Lima. His fight with Derrick Lewis is now official.
You gotta wait till the weight goes up, man. Jeez.
Yeah, that's on me, right? That's on me.
Yeah.
Scott McCrate wants to know. This is a question for you, gentlemen. I mean, I've only seen one, I think, so it's my input's not really important here. But what was the first Justin Gaethje fight you watched or attended live? He's assuming it's a World Series of Fighting fight. But
live was the Michael Johnson fight.
His first UFC fight.
I was in the arena for that one.
Oh, okay.
On TV though was one of the I'm gonna say it's not ranked.
Palomino.
Palomino.
I was at both of those fights.
Yeah.
You were at both those fights. Oh, they were both in Phoenix.
It was downtown Phoenix.
There you go. Was that your first?
No, it was not. I saw Justin Gaethje fight in Rage in the Cage in 2012.
What?
Against, I want to say, I don't even remember, but it was in Chandler. Because he didn't debut in Arizona. I think he debuted in like Colorado or New Mexico or something, one of those local fights. But he was the guy from Arizona. Like when he fought, people turned up. So like if you look at Rage in the Cage's like history, it's like Rage in the Cage like 150, 151, 152, 153. Like Justin Gaethje headlined all of them in a row. And I think one of them was a catchweight, but I went to all of them. They were all in Chandler. And then he fought, and then he joined World Series of Fighting. I think he was 6-0, 7-0, and then just obviously went on that tear. But the first time I saw Justin Gaethje was 2012.
So you went to all his fights in Chandler.
Yeah, because I was in college. It was my senior year of college, and we would just drive down. It was like a 20-minute drive. We just go to Chandler.
So you saw his fifth.
I was an amateur. Go ahead. I was an amateur fighter. He was a pro fighter. I was just like,
What weight class were you in? Could you have fought Justin Gaethje someday?
Absolutely not. My two fights were at 135 pounds.
Oh, okay. I would love to see you fight Justin Gaethje.
Not.
That scares the crap out of me because I'm in Justin Gaethje's weight class, and the thought of me, like, all right, he's getting a fist fight. Oh, good God, no. Good God.
So I believe the fight you saw, the first time you saw Justin Gaethje fight, I'm on Wikipedia right now. September 29th, 2012, Rage in the Cage, 162. This was Justin Gaethje's fifth pro bout, and he won by rear naked choke submission against Sam Young.
And then I know he fought like October, and like he fought 3 times in 3 months.
He did.
Yeah,
UFC veteran Drew Fickett was in there.
Yeah, because it was always like the end of the month too, so it was like always the third week of the month. It was like, Justin's fighting, let's go. But we didn't go for Justin. We just go to watch local. Because Rage in the Cage is like one of the, after the UFC, I think it's the longest running promotion in the US, like still running. But you guys can ask Shaheen about the guy that owns it, Rage in the Cage. He is a character.
I think you have to be. You have to be involved in MMA that long.
There are levels to characters, and he is like the definition.
Right. But yeah, that's cool. Again, people know I don't go to that many live events. I think the first time was Ottawa. I guess. Pretty sure was Ottawa. The Cowboy Cerrone fight. Am I mixing up my? Oh no, sorry, that was in Vancouver.
That was Wonder Boy and Glory, right?
No, this was a fight night. He fought Cerrone, Cowboy Gaethje.
That was Vancouver.
So I think that's the only time I've seen him fight live. Then. Oh wait a minute! I was at. Was I at this event? UFC 218, maybe. That was the last time I was on. I think UFC 218. No, I think I was there.
That's where I met you.
Yes, in Detroit. Okay. Oh, how could I forget that? That's you know what? That's what I remember from that day. Not seeing Justin Gaethje for the first time, seeing Jose Youngs for the first time.
Yeah, that was his first. That was his first pro loss.
Oh, Eddie Alvarez.
Yeah. And then he fought Dustin the next fight in April, and I'm like, because he got knocked out. That was a violent knockout from Eddie, and then he fought like 4 months later. I'm like, this guy's insane. And then he fought James Vick in August. I'm like, take time off, bro.
That whole thing was a bit traumatic for me because, I met Casey. I
thought
worked with
he was
Casey and Esther for the first time as well, which was very traumatic. And then Eddie Alvarez was busting my balls because I was so excited to talk about the Ultimate Fighter because he had just coached it. And then I was like, "Oh, you're fighting." I think Cesaro was one of his fighters, and I was like, "Oh, well, you're in the final. What do you think about that?" And then it actually, like that day, we found out she had pulled out. She had to pull out for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And then he was like on live. This is at the asking whatever the media days the way they used to do them. He was like, "Oh, you didn't hear, bro?" It's like Cesaro's out. Do your research. And like he was doing like an Instagram live, and I was just like, "Don't look at my face." It wasn't a good time for me. Wasn't a time.
Talk about Ninja Turtles again.
What do you want to talk about?
Ninja
Oh,
Turtles.
speaking of Ninja Turtles, I got Usagi Yojimbo tattooed on my ankle on Wednesday night.
Nice. That's a great. That's a great. Is it a Stan Sakai style? Is there any other style of Yosaki Yojimbo? Is there another artist?
Yeah, there's. So
know.
that is an excellent question.
Okay.
Probably the first and only so far.
Ouch.
Where
Eddie Alvarezing me.
I think it was like an anniversary. It was like an or something like that where a bunch of artists drew Usagi Yojimbo like settings and characters and stuff, and it was just like a thing. And Mike Mignola drew Usagi Yojimbo. And it's so beautiful. It's so, and I almost got that tattooed on me a long time ago, but I felt like if I was gonna get anything from Stan Sakai, I should probably get Stan Sakai. Oh, but it's a cool piece. It's like him with the sword with like the sun behind him. It's great.
Wait, so it is a Stan Sakai rendering. You just consider but you were thinking about getting the Mike Mignola. Oh, okay, that's pretty cool.
I love Mike Mignola. He's probably my favorite artist.
He's fantastic. If I don't want to hear it if people say they don't like Mike Mignola. This is a Mike Mignola house. You don't diss Mike Mignola here. J-Ray B02 asking Casey?
We didn't get a chance to talk about this.
Oh yes. First of all, I will be amazed. Could either of you name the? I can't. I'm going to look it up right now. The actress who played April O'Neil.
Oh, I don't know.
I have no idea. I can't. I'm looking.
But I love this because you can see the actor inside the turtle.
Hold on. Wait. Hold on. Let me see.
That's why I'm sharing this.
Why are you telling me that? I don't want to see that.
You can see the actor.
What are you doing? What are you doing right now? I don't want to see this. Those costumes hold up.
They rule.
Is that a cracked out thing to say? Those costumes hold up.
Obviously.
Oh, I'm so excited for the new one.
It looks good.
Yeah, it's actually getting good reviews already too.
It looks really good. Yeah, I love the trailer.
The trailer was like, oh, this looks good.
Now I'm sure you can name who played Casey Jones.
You guys should.
No, they got.
Go ahead. Either of you? No, Casey.
I don't follow that stuff.
You're not. Yeah. You're not. I don't look to you for actor names. Veteran Canadian actor Elias Koteas.
I have absolutely no idea.
Brought Casey Jones. He's done so many movies and things. He brought Casey Jones to life to a young A.K. Lee once upon a time. I didn't know he was Canadian. I would have been even more proud if I knew that he was Canadian at the time. But yeah, that movie's not bad at all. I quite enjoyed the original 1990 Ninja Turtles movie, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little jealous of Shaheen.
You know that documentary series on Netflix, like that. They also do movies that made us. Casey, have you seen these?
Yeah.
The Ninja Turtle one is very good.
Oh, I was
the episode where they talk about like how Ninja Turtles became created and like the conception and everything is very good. There's always drama behind the scenes with toys.
Of course.
And Ninja Turtles is not an exception.
That was one of the first movies I saw in theaters, I think, as a kid, because I would have been like 6 years old. Wow, I just dated myself real badly there. And I remember begging my parents. I mean, that was the first time. Every person I think has a story about like, oh, I begged my parents to watch the movie. That was like, please, let me watch the Ninja Turtles movie in theaters, please.
I can show my age. The first movie I remember begging to watch was No Holds Barred.
With Hulk Hogan and Zeus. Or Tiny Lister, excuse me, Tiny Lister.
Yeah. That
was that's like, isn't that movie rated R?
No way.
Isn't there a Hulk Hogan sex scene in this movie?
That's why I went.
And someone poops themselves? Didn't someone poop their pants? Isn't there like?
I don't remember that part.
All right, people look. I'm not making any of this up. There is a Hulk. I can guarantee there is a Hulk Hogan sex scene and someone crapping their pants in the movie. But I guess back then, that was like just a PG-13 back then. Like that was soft back then. I don't know.
What was it rated?
Probably.
That sounds. I thought it was rated R. No, it can't be. It's a Hulk Hogan action movie. They can't have rated R.
No, that was
the first movie. The first movie I ever saw in theaters, The Lion King.
That's a good one. That made me. That made me cry. I have a lot of things make me cry, but
you cry a lot. Yeah.
I could cry a lot. I cry a lot about a lot of. I cried before every weigh-in show.
One I went to. That's true. I went to see Hunchback, and it was my brother's first movie. My brother Michel was like 2 or 3, and he was there crying because he was so scared.
Of the Hunchback?
Of just the movie, like Frollo con demons to kill Esmeralda and everything.
Okay, that is pretty scary. That's pretty. A lot of those cartoons had some like kind of moments of like pure fear in them. JRayBO2 wants to know, rank your 4 best fighters to portray live action Ninja Turtles, and he says one of them has to be Jun Young Park, the Iron Turtle. I don't think just because of his nickname. I think you have to go based on personalities, right?
Okay, so you guys were not. Casey was off, and AK, you were, I think, still like on vacation. So I produced the post show for whatever event that you missed, Casey. I can't quite remember. Yeah. And we had at one point, so it was me and then Jed and New York Rick, and we had at one point 800 comments in the live chat, and I want to say 200 of them were emojis of turtles for the Iron Turtle because he had just won, and it was unbelievable. Like our comment that was just a sea of green turtles.
So you agree that he has to be in this discussion if they were going to take 4 UFC fighters. The Iron Turtle has to be. He would be the Leonardo of the group.
Probably.
I think.
Is he good with computers?
Who's a I can't even guess. Who would be a good like Michelangelo? Who's the party guy of the UFC? Let's stick to UFC. Let's just say UFC.
Matt
Former. What are you suggesting about Michelangelo? What are you trying to say about his pizza eating proclivities? Sure, Matt Riddle. You're right. You know what? He's not in the UFC anymore. He's not in MMA anymore. But I'll count it.
Hold on. I have a very important clip to pull up right now.
Please. Oh God. Is this legal? Can you play this? Is this clip?
Oh,
no, you're gonna put up legal?
This is gonna be well worth it. Hold on.
Is it the Hulk Hogan sex scene from No Holds Barred? Oh, okay.
But I'm no rat. I'm a fucking turtle. Ninja Turtle. So which one's your favorite? I like Michelangelo. Next question. This is a rat race. But I'm no rat. I'm a fucking turtle. Ninja Turtle. So which one's your favorite? I like Michelangelo.
He's not Michelangelo. He's a Raphael. He's a Raphael.
Guys, the box is out.
Oh
Yes.
boy. Oh boy.
The box of shame.
Right next athlete to the scale, competing in the men's flyweight division, Vinicius Salvador.
Okay, Vinicius Salvador. $125. No problem.
Where'd he go?
$128.5, 2.5 pounds over the flyweight limit for Vinicius Salvador.
Ouch. 128.5 for Vinicius Salvador. That's as John Annex just pointed out, that is 2.5 pounds over the flyweight limit, including a 1 pound allowance. Yikes. I would be shocked if he makes a second attempt. I'm pretty sure this is going to be locked in.
He done.
Just throw that in. That's tough. That's tough to see. Hopefully Salvador is okay. Hopefully this fight goes on and he gives a sizable amount of his purse to Seiji Vergara. Because for now, Casey, this fight is not official. Yeah, it's that's a bummer. As I was kind of saying earlier, this is only his second UFC fight, so I wasn't going to make any guesses over whether he was going to have trouble making weight or not. Just no real track record to go by so far. But there you go. In his second UFC fight, this is his first miss. So not a great look. He's coming off a loss as well. He's going to need to win just to keep his job, and then hopefully stay in the good graces of the UFC. So we have our first miss of the day. There's the dreaded red text on the weigh-in graphic, as you guys can see there.
So who do we decide who's going to play the Turtles? Let's go back to the important stuff.
I'm okay with Tony Ferguson being one of them, but he's not Michelangelo.
No, he's not Michelangelo.
He could be Raphael. He's not really. He doesn't really fit that. He doesn't really fit any of the archetypes, but I'll give him Raphael. He could be Raphael.
I think of Tony Ferguson more as a Casey Jones almost.
Oh, sure. Yeah. He might not be a turtle.
Yeah.
He's obviously not Splinter, according to his own word.
Wait.
I am not Splinter. He's may well have just said it. I am not Splinter.
Can you do Laura Senko as April O'Neil?
Yeah, of course. Well, what about Megan O'Leary? Now you're snubbing. So you got to pick one of the other. You got to snub one of them. It's tough. It's tough. They both do a great job.
Who looks better in a yellow jumpsuit?
No one can wear that thing in real life. That is the strangest. I watched that cartoon. I'm like,
yeah. What reporter wears a yellow jumpsuit?
It's from Jose. That's from the comic, right? The comics were black and white, but the jumpsuit is from the comic, right?
I believe so.
Okay, and I guess for the cartoon they decided yellow because it's just like pops more. It's like, oh, it's a cartoon.
Well, she wore a lot of leather jackets too. In the comics,
okay.
It was always like black leather.
And she was also looked very different in the comics too. She actually didn't.
She had black hair. Yeah, she had black hair.
Well, I thought she was black in the comics. Yeah.
Salvador is a go, despite the weakness for Salvador. He will forfeit 20% of his show.
You get that?
Okay, there we go. We're at 20%. Fight is on. All right, great. Let me update this here on our website. Jose, will you be tweeting that, Jose?
I am doing that right now.
All right, sweet. I will hit you with a spicy hot retweet.
That would now be the catch weight.
There you go, okay.
There's a typo in your tweet, sir. I cannot retweet this. I cannot retweet. Legally, I cannot retweet this. Okay, I will wait for you to. I cannot retweet this.
That's very funny. I can see it right out of the gate too. Imagine if that you should retweet anyway. Because people are like, he forgot 20% of his punch.
He should not. He shouldn't do that. That's bad.
He just left it. He just left it.
He does. He's so balling. He's like, whatever. I don't need it. So there you go. We'll let the people know.
Who's Splinter? We got to do the whole cast.
Greg Jackson.
I could see Greg being Splinter.
He strikes me as a wise fellow.
Who's Krang?
This is gonna get hurtful. This is gonna get hurtful.
Krang was the bad guy in Batman versus the Ninja Turtles comic.
Oh, okay. Wait, the only bad guy? They didn't do a two bad guys thing? A one Batman villain, a one...
No, it was because I'm pretty sure Batman went over... I'm pretty sure like Batman went into the Ninja Turtles world. So it was no. Oh, it might have been Bane, I want to say.
They didn't just...
Shredder was in it.
Was there actually dimension hopping? They didn't just say, oh, by the way, they exist in the same universe, and this is how they...
I don't remember, because this was like 6-7 years ago, and I read it, and I was like, don't need to read this anymore.
Do you remember when Archie did a crossover with the Punisher?
Dude, I have that.
I'm sure you do. I'm sure.
I like John Jones as Shredder. I can see that.
If DC didn't retire, Bub says if DC didn't retire, I'd have DC as Splinter, John Jones as Shredder. John Jones would love to be Shredder too.
Yeah, I
You
don't
know,
know
if you
DC
like
as
propose
Splinter.
that to him, like, yeah, Shredder's cool.
But John Jones is Shredder. I could definitely see.
Shout outs Kevin Nash, by the way, Super Shredder from Secret of the Use. If we're talking Matt Riddle, if we're talking Matt Riddle, just bring back Kevin Nash. JP, Marvin Vittorius Krang. Why?
Well,
Well,
I
don't know.
think it's more of a state of mind, more of an attitude, not a physical look.
Oh, see why Stevie likes Big Huge of City Kickboxing as Splinter. Eugene Behrman. How about that?
Ooh,
That's a good one, actually.
That's
I like
actually
that one.
like that.
He does walk around with a knife.
I respect that. I'm
Yeah,
gonna go.
all right,
Okay,
I like that.
Greg Jackson, you're out. Eugene Behrman, you're in. Yeah, he's Splinter. All right.
Guys, I'm getting nervous about Michel Pereira.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little nervous. He's a big guy. He's a huge welterweight. I still he's competed at middleweight before the UFC. He's been pretty committed to 170 since joining the promotion, but like he's a monster. I always thought like he was just gonna move up like eventually. No, even before he missed weight, I thought just like, well, he has to. He's not like super old. I think he's 28, 29. But man, he's big. He's really big, really muscular. I'm just like, where is he losing this? Where is he losing this weight? Like, it can't be good for him. So, getting concerned. We're under 10 minutes now. As I said, Michel Pereira has missed weight once under difficult circumstances, but still, it is on the record. Has missed 170 in the UFC. I want to check his pre-UFC record. He's fought at catch weights before. I believe there were scheduled catch weights, so it's not an issue. Yeah. I don't like this. I'm going to do some third-hand reporting here. Aaron Bronstetter just tweeted that Daniel Cormier said that they received an update on Michel Pereira's weight and referred to it as, quote, scary. Quote, scary. So make of that what you will. Again, I'm just...
No, that's what we're literally talking about right now.
Yeah, I'm broken telephoning it here.
Barbie yet?
I know. Yeah.
Have you seen Barbie yet? Okay.
I haven't. I need to. I told you I saw past live. Oh, I told you I saw past lives.
Yeah. I'm very excited. I think I'm finally gonna make it to see Barbie Sunday.
I want to. I just need to. I want to see it in theaters. Like I was thought like, oh, maybe I'll just watch one of them later when they're streaming or something. But I kind of want to see it in theaters. I heard it's really good. So.
What was the last movie I saw in theaters? Oh, the Spider-Man movie. That was a great experience.
Oh, I like the both Spider-Verse movies. Just to catch people up here again, you can see the graphic. You can see who's weighed in already. We've had only one miss so far. The most recent fighter who just weighed in, Vinicius Salvador, coming in 2.5 over the flyweight limit.
The fight is official.
The fight is official. Obviously, his team knew right away he's not going to try and cut again. So it sounds like, I bet before he even stepped in the scale, there was some negotiations with CG Vergara, letting him know what might happen. And sure enough, 20% penalty, but the fight will proceed as a catchweight. Pro Fights Info. I'm assuming we aren't going to be seeing many backflips from Pereira in this one. Hey, listen, ceremonials. There's ceremonial weigh-ins later.
Yeah,
so
ceremonials are different. Once he rehydrates, yeah.
Help me rehydrated and flipping around like a maniac all over again. I just hope if he does miss, it's nothing crazy, like no more than 1.5 pounds. But this is time to get concerned. Big guy, has missed weight before. And again, we are approaching the 5-minute mark of the official weigh-in time. No signs so far. I'm seeing a lot of chatter on Twitter from people saying, and I imagine Jose is hearing it on site, it's not looking good.
Nope.
It's not looking good. Jose, what can you say on the record without getting sued right now?
Nothing I can say on the record.
Sued.
That's not a good. You know what? That's not a good sign. The fact that you that already.
I like this comment right here.
These mama journalists are nerds. Come on, Muhammad Davis. These mama journalists are nerds.
Take that, mama journalist. Nerd.
You damn so-called mama journalists.
Go read a book, nerd.
You guys are the worst.
Mama
You guys are the
journalist.
worst. I hate them too. I
agree. I'm right with you there, Mr. Davis.
Not a fan. Not a fan of the mama journalists. The fake news mama journalists.
got him.
Again, yeah. As long as the weight is within reason, I'm assuming Stephen Thompson will accept the fight. Probably take 20-30%. My only issue is depending how bad the weight cut is, are we going to get a Saturday morning report of so and so? Either
we have a lot of movement.
A lot of
Box is
movement.
here. Box is already out.
The box.
Just saw him walk by, not looking happy.
Could Michel Pereira be a Ninja
Our
Turtle?
final athlete to weigh in this morning, competing live on pay-per-view, the 15th ranked UFC welterweight contender, Michel Pereira.
Oh, he is not on weight because he still has 5 more minutes.
Yeah, this is forget it. Just
Yeah, it's like
we're not close. We're not close. Yeah, you sitting in the sauna is not going to save you this time.
What is it? Let's go 170. I'm going 179.
I'm seeing someone in the comments saying 178.
No, 170. No, not 170.
Yeah,
Sorry.
176.
Yeah, not 170. 175.
It might be worse.
177.
Max Rapkin saying 179.5.
It's exciting. Look at that counterweight just flying. Ooh.
174.
Michel Pereira, 3 pounds over the welterweight.
174 for Michel Pereira. Mr. Welterweight led by 3 pounds, as noted by John Anik. Again, my assumption will not be making another cut. I don't see what the point would be other than to possibly... Who said 174? Someone said 174 in the comments.
Yeah, they win the prize.
Payday. Yes, you did call it. You did call it, sir or madam. Well done, 174 on the dot. So we have 2 misses now. We have 2 misses. Michel Pereira coming in 174, Vinicius Salvador 128.5. I guess we can do a little rundown. Very disappointing to see. This is a huge fight for Michel Pereira. He's on a nice run. He's actually on the longest win streak in the UFC welterweight division right now, 5 straight. And Santiago Ponzinibbio was a good win, but I don't think Ponzi's ranked anymore. Wonderboy is still ranked.
Well, after he beat him, he was unranked. But when he fought him, he was ranked.
He was ranked. Okay, so he's beaten a ranked guy, but I think Wonderboy is top 12 ranked still. I know he is in our rankings. He's number. I have notes for a reason. He's number 9. He's number 9 still in our rankings. So.
You ready to do the
This
dance?
would be a top 10. Yeah, it's a top 10 opponent for Pereira, and now he misses weight real bad. The official UFC news account has tweeted out the weight as well, which definitely means that is it. That is the weight. That's official. We'll probably be hearing the purse penalty soon. I'm also seeing people saying
that's official weight. We don't know if the fight is official yet either.
we don't know the fight is official yet. I did see a lot of people buzzing on social media saying that Thompson's team was well aware of the situation. So my guess is there has already been, this is a guess, I emphasize the word guess. There has already been some talks between the teams, and I'm betting 30%. I'm betting this will be 30%. Okay, so let's give them the rundown. I hate when we have to end on a miss.
That's how it always is.
It's such a bummer. That's a bummer, man. Let me do one thing real quick here. Just updating the news on the site. That is a true bummer. All right, Casey, whenever you want to bring the piano in. I'm really sad now. I'm really sad now.
3, 2, 1.
Well, UFC 291 official weigh-ins are a wrap, guys. We had some great news at the top of the weigh-in hour as Justin Gaethje came in and weighed in first, 156 pounds for his BMF title lightweight main event bout with Dustin Poirier, who came in soon after at 155. Light heavyweight co-main event, former champion Jan Blachowicz coming in championship weight 205, facing former middleweight champion Alex Pereira, who came in 205.5. We just saw the results of the welterweight weigh-ins between Stephen Thompson and Michel Pereira. Stephen Thompson came in way before 170.5. Michel Pereira missed badly, 174. That's 3 pounds over the limit, even with the 1 pound allowance for a non-title fight. Lightweights, Tony Ferguson, Bobby Green, no issues there. Tony Ferguson, 155. Bobby Green, 155.5. And opening up the main card, Michael Chiesa and Kevin Holland. Chiesa, 170. Kevin Holland, 169.5. Welterweights also closing out the prelim portion of the card, which you can watch on ABC, ESPN, and ESPN+. Trevin, Giles, and Gabriel Bonfim, both at 170. Heavyweights, Derrick Lewis and Marcos Rogerio de Lima, right near the heavyweight limit. Lewis at 263.5, Pesao at 262. Roman Kopylov coming in, championship weight, 185 for his fight with Claudio Ribeiro, 185.5. Jake Matthews, 170 for his welterweight bout with Darrius Flowers. We had another miss in this originally scheduled flyweight bout between CJ Vergara and Vinicius Salvador. Vergara at 125.5, Salvador 128.5, 2.5 over the limit. Welterweights, Matthew Semelsberger, Uros Medic on point. Semelsberger at 169.5, Medic 170.5. And flyweights, Miranda, Maverick, and Priscila Cachoeira, successful making weight for the card opener. Maverick 125.5, Cachoeira 125. Thanks, guys. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. We won't have face-offs now because there are ceremonial weigh-ins for UFC 291, which will be on later today at such time at help me here, Casey. At what time? I got it. 7 p.m. What?
Not helping you.
7 p.m. Eastern time. I don't know what that is local time in Utah. I think they're one ahead, so like 8 o'clock there, or the opposite direction.
Other way.
The other way. 6 o'clock local time for you Utahns, and 4 o'clock for you Pacific timers. Casey, just so you know, 4 o'clock. We'll also have a preview show live later today at 2:30. I would like to say 2:30.
11:30 Pacific, the best time.
11:30 Pacific time. Mike Heck, Shaheen El-Shadi, and myself and Casey will be there. Pre-fight Q&A tomorrow, and then a post-fight show after UFC 291. So, guys, stay tuned for all the programming. But thank you again for everyone who joined for the official weigh-ins. Thank you, Jose, for handling things on the scene in beautiful Salt Lake City. Thank you, Casey, for producing the show. And once again, thank all of you. This is Alexander K. Lee signing off for MMA Fight.